Propagation of a disturbance from a medium. Pwedeng simple words. Yo mga kabayo, what's up ketchup and welcome to Inay Thank You, our time and space to learn life lessons from lessons about life. And now we're going to look at what's happening to us, at least how we personally experience our lives. The simplest answer is that everything is moving.
What's happening to matter? Matter is moving. Molecules are moving. We are moving. Tada, we're moving.
But what does it mean to be moving? Well, we need to think of two things to say that something is moving. First is the position and next is time. If at any point in time an object changes its position, then it is said to have moved. Kung nagbago siya ng pwesto, gumalaw siya. That's movement. Okay, great, we're moving, but why am I moving? What is causing the movement? That's the important question. And this is something that we already actually talked about in the last episode, and that is what we call force. Remember that force is an interaction that causes objects to either start moving or stop moving. So that whole thing with the atoms and the quarks, those forces, keeping them from flying apart or going anywhere, there's a force acting on them for them to stay that way. Okay, wow, great. It's the forces that make us move. Great. So 4 fundamental forces that now make the whole universe move. How did you get the force to make that something move? Good question. It's energy. But what is energy? It is the ability to do work. Work in physics is defined as force that is applied over a certain distance. Energy is the ability to be able to make things move or stop moving. You might encounter many different forms of energy, but we can more or less lump them into just two basic types. And that will be potential energy and kinetic energy. So potential energy is stored energy. Energy that could be used to do work. It could be something. Kaya potential.
Uy, may potential ka.
So some examples of potential energy would be chemical energy, the food that we eat. All of that energy that came from the sun, trapped by the plants, and now is somehow in your wonderful salad. Those molecules have bonds which contain energy. And if you break those bonds, they can release energy and be used to power you, to make you alive. We also have elastic energy. Think of a rubber band or a spring. If you either pull it, of course, if it's in that position, there's a potential for it to do work if you release it. Another type of potential energy is nuclear energy. So if you remember protons and neutrons, what happens if you break the strong force? You can just imagine how much energy will be released. And that is the whole basis of nuclear power plants. We also have gravitational potential energy. This thing has gravitational potential energy. Because the moment that I drop it, it starts to move. That's gravity acting on the object. And those are just some of the forms of potential energy. There might be more. I'm not going to discuss all of them. Just giving some examples. So kinetic energy this time is energy in motion. So that means something is moving and it has energy by virtue of that movement. Once it collides with another thing, then it's able to do work upon it. It's able to exert a force. And so that's how you know that there's energy in movement, and that is what we call kinetic energy. And some examples of kinetic energy would be rotational motion, so for example the rotation of an object; translational motion, the movement from point A to point B. So for example, a car is driving by and suddenly it hits a post, then it is able to exert a force on that post and also on the bumper of the car. Light is also a type of kinetic energy. Electrical energy is also a type of kinetic energy. It's the movement of electrons through your circuit. Now there's also this thing called vibrational energy. Sound is actually a form of vibrational energy, because what is sound? It's the propagation of a disturbance from a medium.
Ano yung sinabi mo?
Bakit tumutunog ang isang bagay? You hit an object, it hits the air molecules hits your ears, and they all vibrate, and that's what you are able to sense. There's what we call thermal energy. So that's heat. And what is heat really? It's the flow of energy from an object of higher temperature to a lower temperature. And what is temperature? Temperature is the measure of the average kinetic energy of the molecules. So if there are more molecules that are hitting each other, colliding each other, then there's more heat that's produced. See, it's all vibrations. Let's not forget what we learned in the previous lessons, because it can be traced to these molecules and what they're doing. So now do you guys understand why I said that everything is moving? Because with every breath you take, with every sound you hear, with every flash of light that strikes your eyes, it is a manifestation of all of these small things, these quarks, these electrons that are being kept together by these forces that are acting upon them and making them move. Right now, as you sit perfectly still on your chair and argue that you're not moving, you are, because hey, the earth is rotating. The earth is revolving around the sun as we speak, and you are on the earth. By virtue of that, you are actually traveling within the solar system. You are moving, and so is the universe. Whether or not you choose to move with the universe is actually not your choice to make, and you'll see that next time. O kayo mga kabayo, what life lessons did you learn today? Leave it in the comments right below. If you'd like to learn more about physics, chemistry, the true nature of the universe, check out these videos if you want to learn more. Kita-kits mga bagits, and I thank you.
Propagation of a disturbance from pwedeng simple words.